Welcome, everyone. Welcome. We are here to celebrate a really special occasion where we celebrate excellence, dedication, and the lasting impact within general practice and primary care. So the honours being presented today recognise individuals whose work has advanced the real very heart of our profession, whether that be through clinical excellence, innovation, research, leadership, management, or the tireless advocacy for our patients and communities. These honours reflect the values we hold most dear as a college of GPs: compassion, integrity, and an unwavering commitment to high-quality care for all. Among our awardees are members and fellows at various stages of their professional journey, as well as respected colleagues outside of the college who will now become part of our college family, whose contributions have made a profound impact and shaped and continue to shape general practice and primary care. Each recipient exemplifies the best of what we strive to be: professionals who not only serve but lead and inspire. The college is very proud to honour these remarkable individuals today. Their achievements remind us that while general practice may often take place in the quiet, sometimes not so quiet, consulting rooms that we sometimes inhabit or our communities across the country, its impact is far-reaching and enduring and vital to the health of our nation. So please join me as we start our ceremony in celebrating their achievements with the respect and admiration that they richly deserve. Thank you very much. So without further ado, we will progress to our first award. I'm going to invite Victoria to join us on the stage. She's here to present our first award. Thank you.
Thank you, Richard, and happy Red for Research Day today. It's an honor to be here today to present two incredible members with awards which not only recognize their achievements in the past tense, but which also serve to showcase their impact to colleagues and peers long into the future. It is my great pleasure to introduce the recipient of this year's John Fry Award, an accolade presented in collaboration with the Society for Academic Primary Care. Named after Dr. John Fry, a pioneering GP and researcher who helped establish general practice as a rigorous academic discipline, this award recognizes a member or fellow of the college who has promoted the discipline of general practice through research and scholarship. The John Fry Award 2025 is awarded to Dr. Brian Macmillan. Dr. Brian Macmillan is a clinical senior lecturer in the Centre for Primary Care and Health Services Research at the University of Manchester. As a GP and registered health psychologist, his time is split between clinical work, research, and teaching. He is also the GP Academic Program Lead for the Integrated Clinical Academic Training Program at Manchester. He studied psychology at Queen's University, Belfast, and completed a PhD at the University of Leeds before studying medicine there. Following his academic GP training in Sheffield, he moved to Manchester as a clinical lecturer and then NIHR Advanced Fellow. He obtained a postgraduate diploma in digital health leadership from Imperial College London in 2021, through the NHS Digital Academy. His research focuses on how digital technology and psychological theory can be harnessed to improve patients' experiences of primary care. He has examined quality assurance of mobile health apps, how digital technology can help reduce the risk of type 2 diabetes, and explored what patients, carers, and healthcare staff want from patient online health records access. His current projects include work on improving patients' and clinicians' experiences of online health records access and developing tools to enhance the impact of this practice. His research informed NHS England Accelerating Citizen Access to Health Records programme and was used in training materials to help staff transition to this becoming default practice. He is now working alongside the NHS app team, industry, and patient groups to improve how the information in primary care health records is displayed to patients. I'm thrilled to present and congratulate Dr. Brian Macmillan.
Just get my notes from my phone. I'm very honoured to receive the John Fry Award. Long before computers were introduced into primary care, Fry compiled his common diseases database, which for many decades was the single most important source of data on general practice. I'm not sure what Fry would make of patients now having access to their primary care data on their smartphones, but I'm sure he would approve of the research into this topic. There's just a few people I'd like to thank. Dr. Nick Field, my GP trainer, who restored my faith in my ability to be a GP. Professor Caroline Mitchell, whose enthusiasm for primary care research is so infectious, I often thought I had to don PPE before going along to meetings with her. And to Professor Pete Barr and the Manchester team for keeping my spirits up despite my many unsuccessful grant applications. I'm very grateful to the RCGP for funding my first piece of primary care research, and the NIHR for backing my academic training throughout. And also to NHS England for inviting me to join the Records Access team and for sometimes listening to what the research said we should be doing. My work focuses on helping patients understand their own health information because giving people access to their health records will only help if they're able to make sense of what they can see. I believe that as GPs, patient-centred care is something we do very well, and I hope that Records Access will be another step towards firmly establishing patients as equal members of their healthcare team. So thank you once again. It's a huge privilege to receive this award. Thank you.
The next award is given to the recipient of the Paul Frilling Award. This award, named in honour of the late Dr. Paul Frilling, an inspiring pioneer in GP education, recognises innovative or meritorious work in the field of GP specialty training. It is awarded to those whose dedication to teaching and training has left a lasting impact on the next generation of general practitioners. Primarily intended to honour those working closely with trainees, trainers, course organisers, or associate advisors and educational leaders, this award celebrates the vital, often unsung work that shapes the quality, confidence and compassion of future GPs. The Paul Frilling Award is awarded to Dr. Akeb Hussain. Dr. Akeb Hussain is a GP working in a deep end practice with a focus on clinical leadership, medical education, and reducing health inequalities. Since qualifying in 2021, he has led services supporting refugees, asylum seekers, and people experiencing homelessness, improving access and quality of care for underserved communities. Alongside his clinical role, Dr. Hussain is a GP trainer and clinical supervisor known for his supportive approach. He has made significant contributions to the local vocational training scheme and the National Health Equity Focused Training Program, where he has developed resources and delivers teaching on equity in healthcare. His Health Inequality Insights podcast and future NHS content continue to engage professionals across the system in equity-focused practice. Dr. Hussain leads with compassion, humility, and vision, ensuring both the future of general practice and the needs of our most underserved communities remain at the heart of primary care. Please join me in congratulating this year's winner of the Paul Freeling Award, Dr. Akeb Hussain.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm incredibly honored to be here today and to receive this award. The idea behind the podcast was quite simple: to create a space where honest communication and conversations could occur about health inequalities. Now, health inequalities are not abstract. We see them every day in our consulting rooms. And as healthcare professionals and individuals, we have the opportunity to act. This is what sparked the action for the podcast, to make us challenge ourselves, myself included, to think about who we reach and who's left behind. I'm deeply grateful to those individuals that shared their stories and voices for the podcast, and the mentors that supported me from the beginning. I'd like to have a special thanks to my parents for shaping who I am today, and my wife for her patience, constant belief and support. And not to mention my daughter, who reminds me every day of why we should create a fairer future. Thank you so much once again for this honor.
Congratulations, Dr. Macmillan and Dr. Hussain. I'd now like to hand you back to President Richard Vautry, who will present our next awards. Thank you.
Thank you, Victoria. Our next awards are the President's Medal. They are awarded to only 2 people each year, so they are exceptional members or fellows who receive this award. It's reserved for those who have done much to promote the aims and objectives of the college, often over many, many years, but who have not already received recognition for their contribution from the college. Our first President's Medal this year is awarded to Professor Richard Neal. Professor Richard Neal is Professor of Primary Care at the University of Exeter and a part-time GP at St Leonard's Practice in Exeter. He is currently Director of APEX, that's Exeter Collaboration for Academic Primary Care, and leads the university's membership of the NIHR School for Primary Care Research. Prior to that, he held academic roles in Bangor in North Wales and in Leeds. He's been a clinical academic from vocational training days onwards, and for the past 25 years, his research has focused on the diagnosis and detection of primary and community care settings. In more recent times, this has focused on new technologies, including multi-cancer earlier detection tests. Professor Neal chaired the RCGP Scientific Foundation Board for 6 years and has previously held positions within the NIHR, the National Cancer Research Institute, Cancer Research UK, and Prostate Cancer UK. So please join me in congratulating Professor Richard Neal.
Thank you very much, Richard. What he didn't mention is we go back quite a long way, but I'll come to that in just a second. I'm genuinely humbled and honoured to receive this award, so many thanks to the college for this award. As you've heard, I've had a long and apparently successful career as an academic GP, and it's absolutely impossible to thank all the people professionally along the way who have helped me. But I've got a few that I want to single out. Phil Hayward, who's a retired professor from Leeds, who absolutely set me on my way. Claire Wilkinson from Bangor for all my Welsh years and ongoing collaborations. And three really special colleagues who I've collaborated with over many years on various research projects and who have become firm friends. That's Fiona Walter, who's now at Queen Mary, Greg Rubin, formerly from Durham and Newcastle, and my current colleague, Willie Hamilton, who I actually have the pleasure of line managing these days, of all things. They've been amazingly collaborators and friends for the last 20 years. I also just want to flag up a couple of amazing industry collaborations, which have just demonstrated how academia can work very successfully with the commercial sector, particularly in the field of early cancer diagnostics. And that's my collaborations with Grail and with Pinpoint Data Science. I also want to thank the quite a lot of practices that have hosted me doing my clinical work over many years, starting with a certain Meanwood Group practice at Leeds, which Richard might be familiar with. We were actually partners together there at some points in the 1990s. And most recently, as you've heard, at St Leonard's practice in Exeter, which has a very long tradition of research and was actually, I think, founded by Sir Dennis Pereira Gray's father or grandfather, I'm not sure. But yeah, it's a great place to work. And lastly, I just want to thank all the many trainees, resident doctors, students, and early and mid-career researchers who I've had the pleasure of working with and who I actually probably learn more, even to this day, in my work than I do from the bunch of old grey heads that I usually work with. So thank you to all of those people. So once again, I'm humbled and honoured to receive this, and many thanks for this award. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Richard. I'd now like to introduce our second recipient of the President's Medal, and that's Dr. Jude Hayward. Dr. Jude Hayward is a general practitioner in Bradford and a GP with extended role in clinical genetics and genomic medicine within Leeds Clinical Genomics Service. Her clinical work focuses on the familial cancer, inherited cancer predisposition syndromes, neurofibromatosis type 1. She's also pioneered an innovative training post within the service. Dr. Hayward is a national leader in workforce development and the integration of genomics into primary care. She works closely with Dr. Imran Rafi, who's also here today, and whom she regards as a mentor, as RCGP Joint Clinical Representative for Genomics. In this role, she's contributed to national strategy, professional development, leadership, and clinical policy. She also serves as a primary care lead for NHS England Genomics Education Programme and is co-chair of the Primary Care Workforce Group for Genomics and Innovation Director for the North West Genomic Medicine Service Alliance. Her impact in workforce development spans the full career spectrum, contributing to the RCGP curriculum and leading development of educational tools such as the RCGP Genomics Toolkit and the GP with special interest in clinical genetics and genomics competency framework. She led a Delphi-style education needs survey, which underpins the RCGP Genomic Medicine Clinical Topic Guide and continues to lead curriculum updates through the RCGP Curriculum Review subgroup. Dr. Hayward has shaped RCGP responses to key policy initiatives, including accelerating genomic medicine within the NHS and personalised prescribing, and provides representation in national strategy through roles in several higher-level genomics committees and work streams, including the Academy of Medical Royal Colleges Genomics Professional Partnership Group and the NHSE Genomics Informed Medicines Optimisation Group. She has co-authored position statements to direct-to-consumer testing and pharmacogenomics. In all that, she's got time to be with us today. Please give warm congratulations to Dr. Jude Hayward.
Thank you. Thank you to the RCGP, to the Awards Committee and to President Vautry. I am truly honoured to receive the President Medal, such a prestigious award. That it's a recognition of a career contribution is a little overwhelming, but this achievement is not mine alone. I've walked my entire journey of embedding genomics into primary care alongside Dr. Imran Rafi. There you are, you're over there. I was trying to... He has, as Richard said, he has been a mentor, a collaborator, sounding board, and at key moments a cheerleader and a source of much needed humour. And his support over the decades now has been invaluable. I'm sorry, I can't resist the temptation to talk about genomics. I just have to mention it everywhere. It is a rapidly evolving field. It holds the promise of more precise diagnosis, prediction, risk assessment, clinical management, and prescribing. But it's crucial that this knowledge is integrated into healthcare in a way that benefits all of our patients and supports all of our primary care colleagues in its delivery. Over the years, as you've heard, Imran and I have worked to inform and advocate and raise awareness. And genomics speaks directly to many of the college's priorities: women's health, men's health, prescribing, overprescribing, equity. I could go on, I've just named a few. So this award not only acknowledges our efforts, but also reflects the college's continued recognition of the importance of genomics in primary care. There are a lot of people I need to thank, but mainly my family: Nick, Jonty and Amy, my parents-in-law and my sister-in-law. My mother Margaret's here today. Thank you for your patience, for your early morning lifts to the station, and for generally making everything happen at home on the days that I've travelled. And to many friends who have helped feed and taxi the children on those days and have simply been there, both for myself and for my husband Nick, as he continues his own demanding role as a partner and clinical director in a PCN. So thank you. Thank you again to the RCGP for this humbling recognition and the opportunities over the years to get involved. There is still plenty more to do, and I'm absolutely not done yet. Thank you.
Congratulations to Professor Neil and to Dr. Hayward. To present our next honours, I'm really pleased to introduce my colleague and friend, Professor Camilla Hawthorne, Chair of RCGP.
Thank you, Richard. And it's just so good to be here today. It's been just such a lovely occasion. Wonderful cello playing, by the way. Did you not think? Wonderful, wonderful. Great food. Even somebody up there is smiling on us with the sunshine. So it's my absolute pleasure to award some very deserving individuals, some really important accolades, as well as welcoming some new faces to our college community, where your contributions can continue to be felt, appreciated and valued. You can't just run away after this. I have the honour of presenting the award of honorary fellowship to not one, but 4 incredible individuals who we hope will become even closer colleagues. I was going to say 4 incredible colleagues, because that's what you are. Even closer colleagues from today. Honorary Fellowship is given for outstanding work towards the objectives of the college. It can be awarded to doctors and non-doctors from the UK and overseas, and is the highest accolade the college can bestow. So our first Honorary Fellowship is awarded to Thea Stein, who's over there. So Thea started her career as a clinical psychologist and family therapist. She's worked across a range of sectors and been CEO across the NHS, economic development, charitable sector, and is currently CEO of the Nuffield Trust, where she works really closely with us, a health and social care think tank. Her proudest achievement, however, is her leadership of Leeds Community Healthcare Trust over a period of 9 years, including during the pandemic, where she worked tirelessly to bring community services, primary care, social care, and the voluntary sector together to provide integrated neighbourhood care. Where have you heard that? She led the first trust in England with joint medical and nursing directors across the trust and a citywide GP federation, and has been a tireless supporter and champion of primary care. We are very proud to award her Honorary Fellowship. Please join me in congratulating Thea Stein.
Thank you so much. I didn't really know what it meant when I first got the letter. I got a letter saying you've been nominated, and then a letter saying you've been approved, and I was like, that's nice. And then people told me what it really meant, and I really genuinely feel honoured. Slightly tongue-in-cheek, I can say, all those evenings I had drinks with GPs, all those early mornings, all those surgery visits, all those difficult conversations that I had, some with my colleague over here, in fact, many an LMC meeting when we sat together and tried to work things out, not always agreeing, you'll be deeply surprised to know. But in my heart, I believed totally strongly before it was trendy, before it was now, that my leadership of Leeds Community Healthcare Services and mental health services for children could only be made better if I did it in partnership with the primary care community. And I used to say, we're like Siamese twins that were separated at birth. Why are we not together? Why are we not together with social care? Why are we not together with some of those amazing third sector organisations? So I feel like the sort of person who's worn flares all their lives, and occasionally they're trendy and sometimes they're not. So I was doing neighbourhoods for many, many years. Now suddenly I'm in vogue, but for many years I really wasn't. I have an absolute passion for supporting primary care and seeing its centrality in the way we work in the healthcare service. Or the care service in particular. I have a remarkable opportunity now with the job I have running a think tank to take that passion into a new place and to try and use it along with my colleagues here to influence at the highest level for those voices to be heard. I'm genuinely moved and touched to be recognised for that. So thank you very much indeed.
So our next Honorary Fellowship goes to Professor Navneet Kapoor. So Professor Kapoor is Professor of Psychiatry and Population Health at the University of Manchester and Director of the UK's National Confidential Inquiry into Suicide and Safety in Mental Health. He's widely acknowledged as one of the leading authorities on suicide and self-harm in the world. He's led committees for the National Institute for Health and Care Excellence, NICE, on suicide, self-harm and depression, and sits on the Suicide Prevention Advisory Group for the Department of Health in England, and leads national quality improvement initiatives. He's the author of Suicide Prevention, Oxford University Press, and has generated over 500 academic publications. All his research has had a clinical, real-world focus, and much of it is relevant to primary care. It's ranged from landmark epidemiological studies across the lifespan to intervention trials. His work has identified suicide prevention as a core safety responsibility of health and social care services, with general practice playing a crucial role. He's championed the idea that people deserve collaborative, holistic assessments and ready access to aftercare following self-harm, and has long advocated for improvements in general practice for patients in distress. His research on the utility and futility of suicide risk assessment has influenced thinking internationally. He's highlighted suicide and self-harm as global issues and investigated the role of ethnic and socioeconomic disparities. Professor Kapoor is a leader in knowledge transfer, committed to making research accessible to all, and he and his team have pioneered patient and public involvement in suicide research. He's been a long-standing friend of general practice, and his work has most certainly led to enhanced GP care for people presenting with mental health concerns. Please give a warm congratulations to Professor Navneet Kapoor.
Wow, I was really kind of overwhelmed with that citation. Thank you very much. Great to see you all. When I was at medical school, there were only two career paths that I considered. One was psychiatry, where I ended up, but the other was general practice. So this is really, really special. Thank you for that. One of the reasons I didn't do general practice is sitting over there. My big brother, Sanj. So while I was slaving away at Leeds Medical School, he was already a brilliant general practitioner in Yorkshire, and I thought, I can't compete with that. Suicide, self-harm, mental health touches us all. It's particularly pertinent today with the debate that's going on in the House of Commons. I'd just like to thank all the patients and carers who have helped us with our work over the years. I'd like to thank my many colleagues, friends, and mentors who have contributed to the work that's led to this award. I'd like to thank my long-suffering family, and I'd like to thank all of you. This means an awful lot, and thank you for welcoming me to your family. It's great. Thank you.
And you're absolutely right, Navneet. You are definitely part of our family now. No escape. Okay, so our third honorary fellowship is awarded to Professor Rebecca Mulby, who's here. Commonly known as Becky, I think. Professor Becky Mulby is honorary visiting professor at the University of York, having previously been a professor in healthcare leadership. She's also a visiting professor in health systems innovation at the universities of Huddersfield and London South Bank. She leads the National Universal Healthcare Network and a number of primary care development initiatives to support primary care leaders and primary care networks, working on how the NHS can make sure services are fair for all. Becky has a track record in systems innovation, organisational change and leadership development in the UK and internationally. She's a strong advocate for general practice. Her work is helping to prioritise resource allocation to general practice and refocus performance management away from simplistic and unreliable targets. Becky is the lead author of the Universal Healthcare National Inquiry and combined this work with her role in West Yorkshire to help address health inequalities in areas of significant deprivation. She advocated for young people in general practice whilst a non-exec member on NHS West Yorkshire Integrated Care Board. Becky is an energetic and enthusiastic leader of change and a forward thinker. She's made sustained and demonstrable impact through her work on the quality of health services with global reach. But you haven't heard it all yet. Professor Mulby also leads a campaign to clean up the sewage pollution in rivers, supporting a national network of local groups. She was named on the ENDS Report Power List 2023 of the 100 UK environmental professionals who have made the greatest impact in the past 2 years. Thank you, Becky, and please congratulate me and please join me in congratulating Professor Rebecca Mulby.
It's been a bit of an emotional week this week, so thank you so much. I can't tell you, Richard, GP colleagues, I can't tell you how much it means to be recognised in this way by the people and the profession I hold in the deepest respect. Nearly 10 years ago, I muscled my way into London South Bank University to set up a department. They didn't want it particularly at the time, and I wanted to do it in service of general practice and primary care, driven by the knowledge that all high-performing health systems have robust general practice at their core. The front door of the NHS is critical for the whole system. And yet still we know that practices in poorer populations have less funding than those in wealthier populations. And this has to be addressed. And I know RCGP is persisting in making this injustice visible. And Camilla, I am really glad to be part of the family, because if I could help with that, I'd really want to. What I've seen and hope I've contributed to as a critical friend to general practice is a dramatic increase in productivity, massive diversification of the workforce, adaptation to really complex needs driven by old age and lifestyle, poverty, including suicide. And when general practice is really working at its best, it's embedded in its community, it's committed to learning, it's data savvy, it's compassionate and kind, both to patients, but also to each other. And I must thank my GP friends and colleagues for their robust challenge and friendship. General practice friendship is like a two-armed sword, really. Sometimes it's good and sometimes it's not great. And Richard, I look at you at this moment, for the respectful debate we've had in West Yorkshire on the Integrated Care Board. But you have to thank Richard for his leadership for the GP community in Leeds. I thank you from the West Yorkshire team as well, and nationally. And I have to thank just a couple of other people. So there is the fabulous Nick Downham, who you might not know because he tends to be a sort of background chap. Nick and I work on the Primary Care Networks Academy, and he's fabulous and has the ideas, and I'm just damn noisy and help make them happen, but he's brilliant. To Annetta Bearpark, who's in and works with Richard in his practice, but is a personal friend, who takes no nonsense from me about my ideas about what should and shouldn't work. To my daughter Charlotte, who's here today, she's my rock and has persistently, since she was a very small child, given me feedback about my performance. So thank you, Charlotte. I'll get some later. But I also want to thank, the bedrock of this is general practice. I must thank our own general practice in Ilkley, our own partnership there, because they support me and my family. I have older parents. They're there when we need it, for what we need. They are general practice at its best. And I so respect them, and I'm very grateful to them too. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, we wouldn't mind having some notes on that feedback later. So our final honorary fellowship is very proudly awarded to Professor Mahendra Patel. Where is he? There he is. Mahendra Patel is a distinguished academic pharmacist whose work spans health policy, professional leadership, and inclusive research nationally and internationally. He began his career in community pharmacy before moving into academia, pioneering the national NICE Student Champions programme, embedding evidence-based practice and tackling health inequalities across the curricula of 40 medical, pharmacy, nursing, and dental schools. And his early leadership earned him one of the first NICE fellowships. As an elected board member and treasurer of the Royal Pharmaceutical Society, Mahendra led the development of its national diabetes policy and acclaimed diabetes toolkit, while forging international partnerships, notably an MOU with the Lebanese pharmacy profession. He masterminded innovative strategies that significantly improved diverse recruitment in the world's largest primary care COVID-19 clinical trials, showcased at the World Health Organization and the United Nations. Mahendra is founding director of the Centre for Research Equity at the Nuffield Department of Primary Care Health Sciences, University of Oxford, co-developing national research policy and regulatory guidance, leading to landmark partnerships with government R&D agencies in Northern Ireland and Wales. Through the NIHR-supported Race Equity Incubator, he expands collaborations with the RCGP and UK-wide GP deep end practices to strengthen research capacity and capability. And for those people who don't know what deep end practices are, this is an idea that started in Glasgow, but it's a way of strengthening and supporting the practice that work in the most deprived areas of the UK. And there are such practices right across the UK that are all linked up together. As a UK Pharmacy Professional Leadership Advisory Board member committed to establishing a Royal College of Pharmacy and a BMJ NHS Commissioner, he convened UK-wide healthcare leaders, including RCGP members, to help shape the future of the NHS at a historic ministerial event at the House of Commons. Mahendra continues to champion inclusive practice to support equitable health outcomes as professional advisor to England's Chief Pharmaceutical Officer. Awarded an OBE, he remains a humble and visionary leader, advancing multi-professional leadership. Please give warm congratulations to Professor Mahendra Patel.
Well, I don't know what to say really, but apart from thank you very much to my new family, the Royal College of General Practitioners. I often feel I'm a lone ranger, but with a family like this, I think that's going to soon dispel. I must begin with a little bit of a confession in many ways, and perhaps to people who know me, this might be a bit of a surprise, but I come with a huge imposter syndrome. And we've often heard that before from many others as well. But standing here today as a pharmacist from a humble background, let's just say it's not making it feel any better today. I've also been warned, and I think it's interesting how we talk about our children, by my beloved son, who said to me last night and warned me 3 times, "Keep it brief, Dad," because he thinks I go on too much. Thanks a lot, Vivek. On a serious note, this is a real pinch me moment. I still smile remembering my late father saying, "I don't know how far you'll go, just counting out pills." Well, Mum and Dad, I'm here at a new home, the home of doctors, the Royal College of GPs. As the first pharmacist in England, and only the second across the UK to receive this fellowship, I accept it not just as a personal honour, but as a powerful and symbolic milestone. It reflects the growing spirit of partnership between our professions and hopeful future for integrated care. But this isn't about personal titles and accolades. It's about ensuring we make good use of this recognition and honour for the college, for general practice, and for pharmacy. I want it to serve as a catalyst for closer collaboration, shared leadership, and inspiring our colleagues everywhere to think beyond the traditional silos that we have and even our often comfort zones. My journey has taken me from running my own pharmacies to working with national leaders, convening voices, as you've heard at the House of Commons, to shaping the future of the NHS, and now dedicated to helping build the foundations of a Royal College of Pharmacy. I've been committed and always driven to breaking down silo working, widening access, championing health equity, to improve health for all, and not just the fortunate few. So what does it mean with my connection to the RCGP? My relationship with the college runs deep, from early work on its Research Ready programme to developing national partnerships with the RCGP Northern Ireland, through Ursula on inclusive research, and more recently collaborating with the college's research and policy leads, contributing to the MDT Summit and shaping the new neighbourhood care models. So my call to action, let's use this moment like this to build momentum, grounded in trust, shared purpose, and ambition for the communities that we serve. I have to say thank you, as we all do, not least to my lovely wife and my family for putting up with me and actually occasionally getting to see me and forgiving me for that. Thank you very much. But to Professor Margaret Ikpo, who is an absolute legend, and thank you, Margaret, for being such a wonderful soul and an incredible leader. To also my good friend, I think he's trying to get here, but I think he's running a little bit late, is to Dr. Nick Thomas, who has opened the doors in introducing me to Oxford and my work there as well. And to Sir David Haslam for the priceless wisdom and unwavering support he has continued to offer me since first working with him at NICE in 2010. Alongside countless others, but not least my colleagues at the Nuffield Department of Primary Care Health Sciences, especially Chris Butler and teams there at the Centre for Research Equity, the Chief Pharmaceutical Officer, David Webb, who has kindly taken time to support me in the work and being here today as well, and the team at NHS England through his offices. And of course, to Phil Evans for the NIHR, where we've established a long-term relationship in moving research forward, really. So, and they've joined me in this journey and making it possible, which I've never even dreamt of. And now as I try to live with this honour in front of my two children, who are both GPs, and with my daughter still coming back to me on what colour tie I should be wearing. And of course, my wife, as I've mentioned, who continues to badger me saying, haven't you got enough letters behind your name already? I leave you with this thought. The true measure of leadership is not what you build for yourself, but what you unlock for others. I look forward to building on this new and exciting relationship through the family for the benefit of our professions and the communities that we serve. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Mahendra. I love what you said about all the letters after your name. You know, when our new son-in-law at his wedding breakfast speech disclosed that he had dyslexia, he also confessed that he was having real trouble with the letters after our names. Anyway, so huge congratulations to everybody. Welcome once again to all our honorary fellows. And so to present our next and final award, may I introduce my fellow college officer, Dr. Michael Mulholland, our RCGP Honorary Secretary.
Thank you, Camilla. Our final award this afternoon, and it's truly a delight to present this one, is the Foundation Council Award. The Foundation Council Award is given in recognition of consistent, excellent efforts and contributions that have made the RCGP and helped it develop as a professional organisation to achieve excellence in its work as a membership and representative body for GPs. The Foundation Council Award 2025 is presented to Dr. Steve Mull. Steve is a truly inspirational GP leader in his practice, in education, in the RCGP, and in wider society. I could leave it there, but I will go on because you need to know just how brilliant Steve is too. As an active GP in a deprived area of Lambeth for over 16 years, he has worked tirelessly to provide equitable healthcare for his whole diverse inner city population, many of whom have been marginalised in society and from healthcare. He has led numerous COVID-19 vaccination clinics during the pandemic, and continues to find ways to increase vaccination rates and improve health equity in his local BAME population. Steve's own heritage as a mixed-race Chinese man has helped him understand the needs of minorities. As an openly gay man and respected GP, he joined a practice that was among the first to treat HIV-positive gay men when many others shunned them. Steve has continued to ensure that LGBTQ patients are treated with dignity and respect, and has pioneered work with the LGBTQ community at RCGP, including mentoring many young LGBT members. As an educator, he's been an Associate Dean at Health Education England for over a decade, leading on recruitment and faculty development. As a person, Steve has a passion for developing others. His enthusiasm is clear to all that meet him, and it's no surprise, therefore, that in his career, he is both an expert in educator development events and in supporting individual registrars who often have complex personal and professional challenges. He has led mentoring programs for registrars and doctors in difficulty, and his personal experience and compassion have successfully combined to retain many of them in the NHS. Within the RCGP, he's been a dynamic and tireless GP leader, starting early in his career with unpaid roles as a lead for the registrars in Wales, before moving to the South London faculty and on to become the vice chair at the RCGP in 2013 and honorary treasurer in 2016, a post he only left last year. As honorary treasurer, he was RCGP's linchpin throughout the COVID crisis. He galvanised the leadership team to ensure RCGP worked at unprecedented pace to respond to developments in the front line. Take your time, but hurry up will be one of those things that sticks in my head forever. He made some of the toughest calls for a leader of a professional body in modern times to redirect depleted resources from the RCGP commercial activity to the places where they were really needed to maintain our essential services, for the exam, for the online resources, and for member support. He coordinated all aspects of the backroom response, bringing grassroots experience to the national stage, ensuring that frontline GPs, irrespective of membership status or wherever they were in the world, had essential advice and guidance to respond to the pandemic. He is one of the most knowledgeable people in our history as a Royal College about the history, culture, and modus operandi of the RCGP. And behind the scenes, he has exercised his remarkable people skills and team-building expertise, leading on the design and delivery of most of the senior team's away days over the past decade. He has been consistently a loyal and supportive supporter of people, and to his fellow officers and staff members. Maybe it's his heritage or his GP education in Wales or his time as a ship's doctor that meant that when he qualified, Steve had a passion for international family medicine. It was he who set up the RCGP Junior International Committee in 2009, and since then he's been involved in RCGP international programs in Africa and Colombia, and with WONCA, the World Organization for Family Medicine. It was his work there that brought the WONCA European Conference to London in 2022. And I know that one of his proudest moments was last year receiving from the European Young Doctors Movement their Being Young, Staying Young award, which wasn't to recognise his youthful looks, but it was to recognise his work with young people and young family doctors across Europe. He continues in his World WONCA leadership roles, and we wish him every success in his post-RCGP career there. Finally, outside general practice until 2020, Steve was also Vice Chair of Citizens UK, where he incubated the Safe Passage Initiative to independent charity status, helping child refugees to access the rights. As the previous chair of the London Catalyst charity, he had widened diversity to include Jewish and Muslim faith leaders. President and guests, as you've heard, Steve is an inspirational GP, educator, colleague, leader, and internationalist. As such, as a fellow of our college, he is most deserving of the Foundation Council Award, and I present to you Dr. Steve Mill.
Wow, I'm not normally on the receiving end. This really is a brilliant day, and I really would like to start by actually thanking Team RCGP who've organised this amazing event. It's the first of its type, I believe, and I think they've done an amazing job. Can we give them a round of applause? Sorry, I can't help that. I still think I'm the treasurer. So here stands a very happy GP, a very happy son, and a very happy husband. It's been quite an emotional 24 hours, being the first time in the building since I demitted as treasurer last year. Now, many of you know I don't like being a GP. I love being a GP. And actually, in a week's time, it won't be 16 years, it will be 25 years that I will have spent at the Hetherington Group practice in Brixton. A huge shout out to them for putting up with me for all those years. I love it there. I love working in inner city London. The college has been my professional home long before we coined the phrase professional home. And belonging here is particularly important to me, as I haven't always felt like I've fitted in everywhere. I've loved working with the staff and the officers and our members here at 30 Euston Square. This is a really very special place, and I've made many very special friends. You know who you are, and that's such a joy to me. I'm also a very happy son. I'm immensely proud of my 88-year-old mum, Lily, and my 93-year-old dad, Alan, here today. My mum is the exemplar optimist, and my dad has never doubted I would make it, despite against the odds. I tell you, my first lot of A-levels weren't good, and has been a huge lifelong supporter. It's wonderful to have them share together this day as a tribute to all their love and support to me. Thank you, Mum and Dad. My big brother's here as well, Andrew. Without Andrew, my dad wouldn't be here today. He drives all around the world. He is the family fixer and has always been an incredibly generous big bro. I'm also a very happy husband, and Jeremy and I have been together throughout my college officer life. It can be difficult and a bit tough at times here, as I know the staff will say. Jeremy isn't just constantly kind, loving, and about the most thoughtful person on the planet. Jeremy also gives me huge practical support, whether it's strategic advice, you wonder where my clever moments come from, or putting together my election statements always at the deadline. I love our adventure together. Finally, thank you, college, thank you, council, thank you. I'm really deeply honoured by this award. I love the college and I hope it will continue to go from strength to strength. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. You beat me to it about thanking the staff as well, so thank you very much as well to our staff and colleagues. As was indicated, this is the first time that we've tried the event in this particular style. We'd welcome your feedback and your suggestions about how we can continue to improve, how we recognise so many of our exemplary colleagues and friends and new members of our family. So thank you very much for joining us here. So as we draw this special occasion to a close, I want to take a moment to thank each of you for being here today, to witness, to honour, to celebrate these great individuals who contribute to general practice and primary care and continue to do so, as we've already heard, in many, many different ways. And we're really inspired by them and the work that they do. Today's awards have reminded us of the power of dedication, of what is possible when skill is matched with compassion, with quiet perseverance, with research, with working communities, and with those who often don't hit the spotlight, who are actually doing amazing things on a day-to-day basis. To our award recipients, thank you. You have shown us that excellence in general practice comes in many forms, as teachers, researchers, advocates, innovators, leaders, managers, clinicians, and many, many other roles besides. You represent the very best of our profession, and your work highlights the path forward for many of us. And to all our colleagues, members and fellows and guests, thank you for your continued commitment to the values we share as a college. So let today serve not only as a celebration of the past and present achievement, but let it be an encouragement to continue to striving for a future where every patient, wherever they are, in the United Kingdom or indeed internationally, can receive the kind of care, leadership and dedication that we've celebrated today. So on behalf of the Royal College of General Practitioners, thank you once again for all that you've done and for joining us on the journey ahead. Thank you to all of you.